Hey folks, back again. Rossing with Clear Lake Guide Service. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today. This is going to be our first little talk about what we do. I've been a full-time guide on Clear Lake now for well over 17 years. Actually, the first couple of years that I was here, business wasn't good enough to be a full-time guide, so I was a part-timer. Kind of started out the way everybody else starts. So built a really good clientele over the years that's kept me busy. I pretty much specialize on Clear Lake. Every once in a while I've jumped over to Berryessa if there's a particular bite that somebody wants to play with, but that's it. I don't really want to run all over the place. This is all about Clear Lake for me. It's an awesome fishery. It's a great place to teach people a lot of different techniques. That's what our guide service is really about. I got into this because I enjoyed taking people fishing. I enjoy being out here. Let's face it, it's the first job I ever had that I really enjoyed and liked going to work. Now there's some bad days, obviously, but hey, that comes with working outdoors. I don't care if you're a fishing guide or you are working cement or an electrician or whatever. So that was my choice. Things worked out really well. We got after it, started the business, fished some tournaments. I already had quite a bit of a tournament experience. Started fishing some tournaments when we first moved here in '01, and Jim, my buddy, Jim Dowdy, he and I got off to some immediate success, winning some team tournaments, had some really good finishes and some high, like the one bass fish off. Had a pretty good record of bringing in some good fish at times when everybody was catching fish, and when the bite was tough, we managed to scratch out enough fish to usually be in the money, get ourselves in a good position, angler of the year, all that nonsense. Not really much into the tournament aspect anymore. What our guide service is specifically focused on is trying to teach people things that they want to know. Back when I started fishing, there wasn't any internet, there wasn't any YouTube. You couldn't even get a really good bass fishing article in a magazine except for like Field and Stream or Outdoor Life, something like that happened once every spring, and they'd throw out a little article, or Homer Circle would have a little section, his article that he would post on a regular basis in Field and Stream. So it was, we had to learn it the hard way. We had to go out and actually do it, and there's a lot of fishing, a lot of failing before we started figuring stuff out. So when you come on board with us, what you're doing is you're gaining from all that experience. I'm looking at 45 years of pretty much specifically fishing for largemouth bass. A couple of little stints there where we were on smallmouth because we lived on Lake Erie for a couple of years. But that's what I've done, and it's what I do. I enjoy it. When you get on board with us, for the most part, unless we're specifically asked to, we don't fish. Our job is to be running the boat, to put you guys and gals in a position to where you're using the right baits at the right time so you can catch fish. I want to be very honest with you. We don't necessarily go out and target big fish. We sure catch a lot of them, because if you're catching a lot of fish on Clear Lake, guess what? You'll catch a big one too. That's just the way this lake works. Granted, there's times, and I'll be the first to tell you, I'm really not interested in taking somebody out and throwing a hut around all day for 1 or 2 bites. It's just not my thing. It's not fun. Grew out of it, moving on. There's other guys here that, I'd be more than happy to send that trip along. But if somebody wants to come out here and learn how to fish crankbait, learn how to fish plastic, drop shot, finesse fishing, shaky head, crankbaits, square bills, rip baits. If it's a right season, number one, we'll be extremely honest with you and tell you that bite is good or that bite isn't good. With the understanding that, sometimes even when it's good on this lake, it just shuts off for a day or two. But that's what our focus is. Our focus is specifically trying to work with you, teach you how to do something better, whether it's using your equipment or just learning how to read the water, learning seasonally, where do you find fish on Clear Lake, as an example. If you can take that, take it home, use it, then you've made me a very, very happy person running my business. Jim Dowdy, my team partner, is slowly starting to work into the guide business with me. He's had his guide license for a while. We both operate with the same principles. So sometimes if I'm booked when somebody tries to get a hold of me, I'll push them to Jim. If that works out, great. If not, they can keep working with me until they get a date. If you go to clearlakeguideservice.com, you'll find a booking calendar. To the best of my knowledge, I'm the only guide up here who has a booking calendar that you can actually go online, find out when I'm available, and you can actually even book that day without even talking to me, though I don't necessarily recommend that. I'd like to know personally what it is that you're trying to do the day that you come out and fish, so that I have a better idea of when to steer you to the right time. So this is just the initial conversation about our guide service. We'll dump more out here. Any of you that have any questions or comments, please feel free to shoot them my way. I respond by text or messenger, Facebook, or email, or even a good old-fashioned phone call. I'm not an editing whiz, so I'm not going to put any of that stuff down here, up here, over there, up here, any of that stuff. You can find me at clearlakeguideservice.com, Clear Lake Guide Service on YouTube, Clear Lake Guide Service on, let's see what's left, Facebook. So I'm going to head to the shed. Had a good enough day today, had some fun, enjoyed some sun. Now I'm going to go back and finish recuperating. So look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.